Good morning, sir. I'm Rupadharshini from Adithya School of Business Management. We have assembled here for a HR forum. We have an expert, Mr. Kesavan, sir. He has a passionate towards HR recruitment and practices. A great honor to welcome you, sir. I will invite Dr. Sundrapandian, sir, to facilitate perspective. Mr. Kesavan.
Very good morning. Our guest, our resource person today, Mr. Kesavan from CTS Singapore, and who is also an expert facilitator in the areas of recruitment, training, especially training and development. The way I approach and the way I understand, he has the passion towards training and development, as well as all other areas in human resource management. Besides his real work nature, though it's an IT and developments, data management, and so on. He has a passion towards people management. So he is with us today. So it's a forum as you all learn human resource management through the concepts and general practices, case studies in your day-to-day classes. So this is something beyond our efforts, and we wanted to make you have exposure on the practical side. So what are the practices, the policies which speaks around different worlds, different continents, we would like to get our students to expose. That's a main reason, the aim behind this particular forum. So we would like to appreciate our students for taking these initiatives, and also we thank our resource person, Mr. Kesavan, for giving a chance for our students to learn from you, sir. And it's to you and our students, sir. You just have an interactive session with them. A few students, we are having it here. One is Rupadharshini from Tamil Nadu, and another student, Kavin Prasanthi, is also from Tamil Nadu. And Mr. Logeswar is from Rupa, Tamil Nadu as well. Revathy is from Kerala. All of them have some keen interest in learning from you today on HR and HR practices and the policies, especially with reference to Asian continent and Singapore and India, whatever way possible from this forum. And it's to you, Mr. Kesavan. So with a small note, and they can start initiating the discussion.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to say thanks for giving me an opportunity. And second is, today I'm very late. I'm very sorry for the front, because last night, I was having some task to complete in my office, so some emergency issues came up. So even when he called me, I was in the office around 1 a.m. So that's what today I'm late. I'm very sorry for that. Okay, and you already sent a set of questions, like some 10 or 12 questions you already shared with me. So are you going to start asking that questions? Are you having any other different questions you have?
That's a tentative one, sir. What they have learned through their classroom activities. It can be a more general discussions. Then and there they can have some discussions with you.
Okay.
So maybe anyone can start having some conversation. They can start asking something, so that you will start initiating. You have all the vast exposure. You can start from anywhere. Let us see how they are keen. Which area they would like to get exposed and so on.
Okay. 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 Thanks, sir. Rupa, so can you start with this? What is your first question? So we can start with you.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you please share the recruitment practices in overseas compared to India?
Okay. So why the recruitment? So first of all, I want to know why this question popped up in your mind. What is the background of this question?
Yes, sir. Here, some steps are followed in India for recruitment process. We have to know what are the steps followed in overseas.
Okay.
Is the same,
so,
or it is different?
Yeah, it's a different actually. So different in the sense, even in India, it's not the same policy or the procedure we are following across all the companies. Okay. So why the recruitment comes earlier, like 30 years, 40 years back, this recruitment was not in, there is no HR department, and there is no particular recruitment divisions, and these many technologies are not involved in HR. But we people when you go back to in our very old ages like Cholas, Acharas, so there are that people, our ancestors. So they are very very well advanced than us in the part of human resource management. So imagine how a Rajendra Chola built a temple, which is almost standing for more than 1,000 years without any falls or anything like that. But you think about it in another way, how that king handled, how many people worked in that for that project. So we have to think in that way. Okay, so this Perikoil or Tanjavur Perikoil is a project. So how many people worked in that? So how you think about it? So thousands and thousands of people, even lakhs of people are might have worked in that project, and we have to, that king should have some separate department to handle that project, correct? So they have to feed them, they have to pay them, they have to hire the technical resources, like who is having knowledges in the stones and who are having the who can build the that temple with without, there should be some building architect, and there are some drawings inside. So there are some art or art oriented people should be there, and they have to, then there are a lot of golds and diamonds and valuable things are there. So they have to keep an army or a security team should protect them. And there are no stones near to that the Tanjavur area, so they have to build the stones and the rocks from the, almost like 40-50 kilometers up from. So they have to maintain that logistics. So they have to maintain which stone is used for which purpose. So you think about it, it's a very big project. Okay, so how they have handled it? There also the recruitment should be there. So whenever this recruitment comes into the picture, like whenever there is a requirement, okay, we need to build a project, or we need to success a project, means we need to hire the corresponding people, respective people who can make that project success. So we have to identify who can do what part. So it's not like no one is best. Every people is here for some purpose. Okay. So we have to hire the people. We have to look, identify what is their skill set, what is their knowledge, and we have to look at them and we have to hire them. Okay. So when it comes to this part, it's not like that one country or one company have the where can identify the people within themselves. Okay, so they have to hire the people from others outside. So the outside comes means that border, there is no boundary for that in current days. Okay, so they have to go across the state, across the country, across the district. So they have to go and identify the people for that. So comes to the overseas. Currently, there are kind of three kind of countries are there, right? Kind of one is the developed countries, another one is developing countries, and the last one is underdeveloped countries. So in underdeveloped countries, you know, like obviously there are no big projects coming up. So only the developed countries have that potential, or they have the comfortness to hire the people from outside their country. So like the Middle East countries or Western countries or Asia Pacific countries like Singapore, Japan, these countries or Australia, they can hire the people from outside. Even India also hiring, but not for technical hire resources and all, but very key resources like CEO, CFO, they are hiring, or comes to the very low level people like we can hire from Bangladesh, like laborers and all, we are hiring from Bangladesh, we are hiring from Nepal, we are hiring from Maldives, Sri Lanka. So it depends on the skill set we are hiring and their capacity. So when it comes to the overseas particularly, and we Indians are very crazy about overseas positions. That is one thing is remuneration. Our package is very good, and because we are converting our the Sing dollars or US dollars into our Indian rupees, so we are getting good package. And second is it's about the social status nowadays. So if we are working in a foreign main, so there is some kind of social status also. That's how the people are crazy about it. But again, the truth, nothing in that one, but there is some status. Okay. And so that when it comes to the hiring process, particularly some developed countries, one first thing is they are very keen about just their security. They don't want to compromise their security. Okay. So if you are hiring a person from a country, means they will look, the government will look for from which country that company is going to hire. So if a person, don't take anything personal, I'm just giving an example. So if a person is coming from Afghanistan or from Iraq or from any country like Kenya, Nigeria, Niger, so these countries are having, the people are mostly like influenced by other things like religious or some backward things, okay, which is not at all, it's not at all suited for any of the current generation, or even it's not good for human beings, okay. So the government is first thing is they will look for the country, from which country they are coming from. Okay, so if it is coming, if they're coming from India and something like that, they will okay for those. But if they're coming from underdeveloped countries or some potentially dangerous countries, they won't hire. They won't give. And third is different countries are following different standards in hiring. For example, US, they are having the visas like H1 visa, L1 visa kind of thing. Whereas in UK, it's different. UK, Australia, Canada, they are all having the point system. So if you apply for a visa in that country, so they will have certain questions. Okay, what is your age? What is your educational background? What is your experience? What is your skill set? So which skill set you are in? Okay, so based on that, they will give some points. So it's like once you out of 100, if you are on your communication, particularly, so communication is very, very important. So you have to show the proof. Okay, I am passing this IELTS. Okay, if I pass IELTS, then they will give you more marks. So out of 100, if you scored around 70 or 80 and all, you are eligible for the visa. It doesn't mean that you are guaranteed for a visa, but you are eligible for application for that job. Okay, and the third thing is you should have an offer letter in your hand. Okay, so for applying for a visa itself, you should have an offer letter. It means you have to personally or with reference somewhere, you have to approach the potential job companies. You have to apply the job, and you should have an interview, and the company is okay to hire you. They will give you an offer letter. So you have to take that offer letter along with all other eligibility criteria for matching, and they will apply for the visa. And once this visa is approved, then you can travel. This is one step. But some countries like Malaysia and all, it's that the visa processing is 2 stages. Okay, stage 1, stage 2 approval. Stage 1 is it will take some time. Okay, once you applied, then everything that process, it will take to almost a month time. Then after that, your visa on stages approved means then you have to, they will give you one single entry visa they will give you. So you can travel one way to Malaysia. So in the airport, they will provide you the second, stage 2 approval visa. So that you can multiple times you can go and come. But normally, when you're going for abroad countries, particularly for work basis, they will give you for multiple entry visas. So they will give you multiple times you can go and come back. Okay, but for a particular period of time, like 1 year or 2 years or 5 years, like that they will give you. So this is from the country side. But from the company side, so in the company side, what they will look at is they will look for these options only. Okay, because they may find a candidate who is very excellent in their requirement. Okay, for example, if they're looking for a salesperson, sales manager, a person from a particular country who is very good in communication and he is having the experience and record everything. But if he is from potentially a dangerous country, so they won't look at it because the chances of getting the approval visa is very, very minimum. So they will look for which country and which background, and sometimes the culture also matters. Okay, why Indians are very famous in all the abroad countries, particularly some developed countries, because we Indians are easily able to adapt to their culture. We can speak English very fluently. We can speak English, UK English. We can speak US English. We can speak here sometimes. Don't laugh because Singapore English is totally different. Singapore and Malaysia different. English is totally different. If you are not good in English, or if you are the first time if you're coming to Singapore or Malaysia, you cannot differentiate whether they're speaking English or Mandarin or Malay. Their English is almost similar to Malay, the slang. Okay, but I can see the people here, they will, so for example, I'm saying Malaysia and Singapore, they will always use the word la. We are using like, hey, saptacha. Like, so have food la? Have food? Like that we are asking. So have food means it's a word, but it's a question for us, right? Have food. So we will say either yes, I had or but they will ask you like, have food la? They will end with la. Okay la? Yes la? So we Indians are very easily able to adapt or learning these skill sets. This is a kind of cultural, I'm telling. This is culture. So that's what Indians are very famous, and that culture adaptability is very, very important. So the people, either the company or the government, they will look for this both. Okay, so if they are hiring from a resource, they will look for the culture and and another one is the country. both they will look at it. And the third part is the skill set and what their experience, everything comes up. Okay.
Yeah, good. Next question.
Thanks, sir. Myself, Kavin, President.
Yeah, fine.
What will be your feedback to the employees after their employee performance appraisal?
Feedback from whom?
Sir, your feedback.
So that means from the
HR.
HR perspective, what will be the feedback? How the company transparency in their feedback compared to India, like overseas in Singapore, and also how do they practice their performance appraisal standards and practices, the transparency, providing feedback to the employees. So those kind of exposure in practical perspective.
Okay. So earlier, the olden days and all the companies, olden days, I'm telling like 30, 40 years and all, it was not like that much transparency. And there is no such regular monitoring system of performance of the employee. Okay, but nowadays they are having different standards. What is your performance? And that performance is not only like that you are. The performance is not only like you are daily. For example, the salesperson, it's not like only the number of products or the quantity of products you are selling. It's on top of that how much you are interacting. There are a lot of criteria are there. Okay, so for example, if the salesperson, it's not only your sales. They would not only consider your stats. Stats means the numbers. Okay, how many products you sold each month, how many profit you brought to the company. It's not on. It is very important. On top of that, they will look for your attitude and how you and other skill set like how you build the customer relationship and what is the value that you brought to the company. Okay, it's not like don't think in only sales. Even if you are working in IT or any industry, they will consider all this. And there are certain cases popped up in earlier stages, like if your manager, if you're having very good rapport with your manager, so there are some back channel. We people always look for that option, right? So some people look for that back channel process. Like, okay, I'm very much if I satisfy this manager, so that I can get some good benefits, some good feedbacks like that. So the company, what they did is they had certain certain methods that a particular manager cannot give them particular feedback like that. So only if a manager recommends, then it's not like that. So there are lot of process and methods come, and each and every activity, even for every day, what time you are keying in and keying out, they will monitor you. Okay, and this is very transparent nowadays. The company is very transparent. Okay, so at the time of joining itself, they will give you the what are all the key points that is playing key role in your performance. They will tell you at the first time when you are joining. If you are asking the HR, they will give you a detailed. There is a kind nowadays the companies are coming up with orientation program. So when you are joining in, they will give you 1 or 2 days, or even some companies giving 1 week orientation program. So in that 1 week orientation program, they will explain you each and every point of details. What are the things that you have to consider, and what are the things that company will consider for your appraisal, and what is the duration of that one whenever the appraisal comes. So for example, if you're joining in between of a financial year, so if you work for that 6 months, that 6 months is that you cannot get that expectation of the performance appraisal. That appraisal will come after 1.5 years. Okay, so these things, they are very transparent, and the first day itself or during the time of orientation program, they will tell you clearly. They will explain you, and they will make you understand these are all the things that you have to be very careful, and we have if you're looking at the appraisal point of view. Okay, nowadays the companies are very transparent. There is no hide and seek materials in that one.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Next question, yes.
Sir, can you please share the common employment exit policy in Singapore?
Exit policy.
Yeah. So basically, in home country means like foreigners expatriate, there is nothing to worry. They can just stay. But when they go to work in overseas like Singapore, Malaysia, they have to follow certain procedures and policies and all.
Okay. So yes, so every country has their own different policies. Okay, particularly except for that too for experts. Like experts means foreigners who are coming for expertise expertise requirements. Okay, there are so in Singapore, but if you see, take an example of Singapore, the people, it's an island country, so they are running out of the manpower, both in labor level, middle management level, or in senior level also. Okay, so there are different policies they are having for different cadre of the people. So if, for example, if you are a labor, your daily charges, and they will give you there are only daily charges, I think, not a monthly charges. Monthly pay they cannot give you. But if you come for the experts, what is the exit policies? There is an agreement when you are joining, right? That time itself in the offer letter they will clearly mention to you what is the notice period that you have to serve. Okay, because we are in a very key position, or we are in the middle of a project, just like that we cannot quit and go. We cannot abscond. People are absconding, but there is a very big impact. They cannot come back again to that particular country. Okay, or to the particular company. So we should have an agreement with the company whenever we are joining about the notice period. So when you are joining a company, first they will give you a probation period. Probation period means you are under surveillance. They cannot expect, because it's a kind of we normally used to say like it's a honeymoon period for an employee, because that 6 months or 3 months is a probation period means they cannot, because that person needs some time to understand the culture of the people, that company, what is the requirement of the, or what is the nature of the client. So they will give you some time. That is probation period. So in this probation period, if you are not interested, or if there are some your family situation or for any other reason, if you're not okay with that company, if you are moving out, you can quit the company within 1 month or 1 week. That depends on your agreement with your company. In probation period, if you are coming out of that company, the notice period is very less, either 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month. Okay, but after probation period, even 1 day, if you cross the probation period, then you have to serve the entire notice period. Entire notice period is again an agreement between the company and the employee. Like we have to give a written, once we send a mail, or there are some lot of HR applications are there right nowadays, HRIS, so there are a lot of systems are there. So we can raise our request in that one. We can give what is the reason for my exit of the company. We can say we have to provide all these reasons and the justifications of that one. Once it is approved by the manager, from the day onwards, it will take, we have to serve the notice period, whatever we agreed in our agreement letter. Okay, normally in IT companies nowadays, for middle and senior resources, we have to serve the notice period of minimum 2 months. If you are coming for an from junior level positions, they are kind of fresher or 5 year, 6 year kind of experience, so you can serve the notice period of 1 month. Okay, but if you're going higher like CEO, CFO level and all, it's very big. The length of the notice period is very high. But normal middle management, you have to serve the middle and senior management, you have to serve the notice period of 2 months. So this is the 2 months. In the 2 months, we have to, after the 2 months, we have to hand over our whatever the company things we have, like laptop or any phones, that we have to provide, that we have to give them back to them, and we have to sign an agreement like we have written all our company oriented things. But still you will be under a particular one point of that, still we are under contract that we should not share the company details. Some details like how can I say? For example, if you are working in a bank, okay, it doesn't mean even if you quit a bank, you cannot share the customer details to the other companies or other third parties. Even you should not share the details with your friends or your family members. If they found, okay, even if you quit the company after almost like 6 years or 7 years, you have to serve that agreement. Okay, if you are sharing that sensitive information like customer bank account or this customer is having a bank account here, this customer is having a bank account here, but that bank account doesn't have any money, like that, because these are all very sensitive information. Even if you come out of that company after serving your notice period, we should not share this sensitive information. We cannot post it in a Facebook, or you cannot share it in any social media. If they found, then you are liable for the consequences. It means that they will come up. It's there in the law. As per the law, you will be undercharged. You will be charged for that.
Information Privacy Act, they have, right? Sir?
Yeah. Yes, sir. So it's normal standard procedure is you have to serve the notice period, then you can come back. From the government point of view, if you are working under visa, okay, so they will close your visa, and you have to pay if you, for example, one financial year you work for 6 months, okay, the government will close they will cancel your visa, and for that 6 months you have to pay the income tax, okay, then you can come out. So in the other company, whatever the other company you're going to join, that company, after that they will apply for your visa, and once your visa process started, then it's your new income tax will start from the day onwards you join in the new company. This is for the expats. For the localites or the PRs or the citizens of the country, it's totally different. And it's like you can work for 6 months and you can take a break for 4 months, then again another 4 months you can work, means it doesn't matter. Okay, so you have to pay whatever the income you are generating, you have to pay for the tax at the end of the financial year. There is no point like they have to pay the tax fully, then they have to come on. It's not for that. It's not applicable for the PR and the citizens. But for experts, yes, we have to cancel our visa. We have to pay all the dues to both the company and the country. Then we have to come out. Then again we have to join as a fresher. I mean, to the fresher means to the country. I'm telling. All over your accounts, income tax accounts, everything will start from the day onwards you started your new career. Okay, clear? Revathy?
Any other question?
Sir, can you please share with me the policies that are provided for the employee benefits in your company in overseas?
Welfare practices compared to like India and Singapore, I think there's much differences. You could see that. I think Mr. Kesavan will be the right person to ask. He's the right person to ask.
Okay, this is a good question, Logeswar. Actually, employee benefits, okay, that depends on the country where you are going to work. Okay, because for example, if you're working in Singapore, or if you are working in Japan or South Korea, okay, these countries are very workaholic countries. Okay, the leaders are as good as people, and the country is as good as the leader. Okay, so here normally Singapore, the Lee Kuan Yew, right? He's a very workaholic. He was a very workaholic person. Okay, he's a very demanding character. So normally the people here, the work as per the law, as per the Minister of Manpower, the work standard and the timings is morning 9 to evening 6. But as far as my knowledge, none of the companies here in Singapore, they are not following that one. It's like your work time will start at 9 o'clock, and minimum you will come out of that company at evening 9 o'clock. So it's 9 to 9 work. It's not standard, it's not compulsory, but the entire floor will, your manager, your subordinate, everyone is working for 9 hours, means I cannot say like, okay, I can come out of I know my timing is only 6 o'clock, I will work at only 6 o'clock so that I can come out. We cannot say that. Okay, so this is the culture I'm telling. So based on this culture, our benefits also different. Okay, so for example, if you're working for 12 hours per day, so some companies will give you like free meals and lunches. They will give you free lunches and other benefits like food, particularly food and other rehabilitation activities they will give you sometimes. Okay, but normal benefits I can say, like first thing is your medical insurance. They will cover your medical insurance. That medical insurance will also cover your blood relations, your spouse, your kid. Okay, because in foreign in abroad, when you're going abroad, the medical expenses are very, very high. Okay, so it's mandatory that you should have a insurance. Even if you're going for a normal medical leave, if you're feeling, if you're suffered by a running nose or cold or fever, in the clinic, first they will ask you what is your insurance, which company is covering you for your insurance. So the insurance is very, very must. And second benefits is like sometimes just like as in India, it's not for normal people, like medium and senior management. Very, very senior management people, they will they will take care of your house rent. They will give you your car driver's salary, your night salary, and your car allowances, petrol and diesel allowances, fuel allowances. These things they will cover you. That depends on the position and depends on the company where you are going in, where you are joining. So based on that, the benefits will vary. Okay, normal standard benefits is they will give you insurance and they will give you some other freebies like food and that and all they will take care of you. And they nowadays they started giving the work from home options they are giving. Earlier they won't share the, they are not willing to share the data. They don't want to compromise the data security. So nowadays they are willing to share, like, okay, you can start work from your home. So any convenient time you can start. Like that they are giving. Even across the border also they are giving. They have started to give. Because bank data are very, very, very sensitive. So normally like they won't give unless if you are crossing the Singapore border, they won't allow you to take the computer and the laptop. They won't give you the access to bank data. But nowadays people, I know in my bank also nowadays people are working from India also, who went to India due to this. Thankfully for this pandemic situation, people go and stuck in other countries, so they have to work, right? So they upgraded their security, and now they are willing. They are sharing the data with the other. I mean, now there are no boundaries, so they are giving that much benefits. Okay, we can work from even from India also. You can work from. So that is good, right? If we can work from India and we are getting paid in Singapore dollars. So
that's good. Actually, that's a work culture, that's a work culture, like everyone works for 10 hours, 12 hours a day. Then how one person can go out, the contract says 8 hours, you cannot go out.
Yes,
that's very much brought in by Mr. Kesavan. I know I was there in English also. We know the culture over there.
Yeah, the culture is very meant.
You go to Japan, you go to different countries. I think it's very common in overseas workaholic, right word used actually. Like even you go to Philippines, all those places, it's expected so much from us. So that's the reason you are hired or you are paid so much. It's not like you have another life to live. Work is your life. That's it. There is no other goal. Last night when Mr. Kesavan was mentioning, I was thinking about my days over there. Late evenings, late nights, he was working still in office. I stuck about him. So that's the real the culture you will see when you go abroad. But when you go to Europe and US, it's a different scenario. It's totally different scenario. So 5 o'clock, whether your boss is looking at you or or not, you don't need to worry about it. You just can walk out of your office. Nobody is bothered about it. But I don't know now, but it was the case by around 10 years, 7-8 years back. I think should be the same now because their tradition and culture is the same in Western countries. You are paid so good, you are taken care very well. The employee welfare is very good over there. Like your insurance, food, everything is provided. High lifestyle you have. Compared to Asian continent, like North American and all, it's very highly having work styles over there. So that's really good exposure for us, Mr. Kesavan.
Sir, how do you see HRIS attaining strategic goals?
For example, if you are running a company like a bank, okay, you are running a bank. So what will be the strategic goals for a bank? So the strategic goals is like it's the goal they have to define for a certain period of time. Okay, our fourth year, from this point to fourth year, we have to attain this much revenue. Okay, so the revenue is the key. So for example, now today we are generating 1 million profit. So after 4 years, we should achieve the target of 4 million revenue. That is the strategic goal. So they have to achieve that 4 million sales or 4 million revenue as a $4 million as the strategic goal. So that is the strategic goal. So how we can achieve that one? This is a project. This is the aim or a target. So they have to just blindly run. Okay. So they have to divide this strategic goal into category. They have to categorize. Okay. So for this is our target. So what is our current capacity? Okay. So from current capacity, we are generating 1 million revenue. So for achieving this 4 million revenue, what are the things we have to expand? So we have to expand the workforce. We have to expand the product range. Correct. But current product range, we are generating 1 million. So this same product, we cannot expect the same. We cannot expect the same product will give you 4 million revenue. So they have to expand the product range, and they have to expand the area. I mean, for example, today they are only concentrating on one particular district or one particular country. So they have to expand for other countries, because if you're increasing the product, you have to increase the area, and to do that one, okay, we need manpower, because we are still there are no robots are coming up, right? still all the companies, all the countries are depends on the what is the country or what is the company. Company is nothing but it's a group of people. So we need resources, human resources. So to hire that, okay, if you are bringing in, okay, we are going for a new market, like if we are going for a new country, so they have to hire, as I said, the culture, everything comes into this. So they have to go for that. They have to deal with their government. They have to deal with a different set of people. They have to study what is their requirement. Okay, this is our product can suitable for that particular country people. So they have to think in different way. They have to split the strategic target into different goals. They will split, okay, part 1, part 2, part 3, like that. So in order to do that one, in order to execute that one, they need people. They need people, correct? So they need certain, not only, okay, if we want to achieve 4 million target, just blindly I cannot go and hire only the salesperson. Okay, I'm giving the lot of, I'm now expanded the products so that I can go and hire only the salespeople, and I cannot force them go and sell the product. We cannot do that one, correct? We have to hire people who can monitor their sales, who can not only monitor, we have to motivate them. Okay, we have to take care of them, and we have to monitor them. And if there are any mistakes, we have to, and there should be some mistakes, so that there will be, on top of that manager, we have to hire some senior resources. Okay, so it's like building a network. It's a kind of pyramid we have to, that company have to build. The pyramid is in the sense of hierarchy, I'm telling. Okay, so normally there is a lot of attrition happening currently, right now. People are coming and going out of the company frequently. There are people, movement is very vast. So from the company point of view, if the company attrition rate is more than, I think it's 14%, then I think the company is not going in a correct way. The people, out of 100 people, if the 14 people are, more than 14 people are leaving that company, then that company is not in a correct, that company HR policy is not good. That's the normal standard they are following. And that standard is why that standard come up is based on the experience. Okay. So, and normally the people leave not because of company or not because of higher package or low package, not like that. Normally the people decide, it's a psychological point of view, I'm telling. The people quit the company, 90% or 80% or maximum percentage of people quitting the company is because of his or her manager, reporting manager. Okay, so that is one fact I'm telling. Okay, this is a psychological fact, and this is a true fact. If I'm quitting a company, it's not because I'm getting sometimes, very rarely that may happen, like, okay, I'm getting a very good package or very good opportunity in other companies, so that I'm going to other company. But normally why I'm leaving is because of my relationship with the manager. My relationship decides whether I'm going to stay in that company or I'm going to quit the company. So in order to, this is one example I'm telling. Okay, so the HR policy, HRIS policy, HRIS software, whatever you are saying, like a human resource capital management or human resource information management, information systems, these softwares or this system is helping the higher people or helping the HR department people to monitor and to mentor them. Okay, how the team will work, and what is the and what is the attitude of that person, and what is the whether this person is a soft-spoken person or a demanding person. We cannot we cannot build a team who most of the person are like soft-spoken person, and the key person is very demanding. Then that relationship always it will not work. Okay, so in order to build a team, that team, if you're going to achieve a strategic target, that team should be it should be a consistent team. Okay, if the team is keep on changing, then they will miss the target. Okay, so for example, if think about, okay, they want to, you want to go to for example, you're starting from your home. Okay, and you are planning to target to reach the college in half an hour, but in between you are keep on changing your vehicle. At what time you will reach? You cannot reach. So you have to choose a vehicle that give you a consistent result. Correct. So okay, what is my vehicle capacity? It's 150 cc or 100 cc or 50 cc. So if the 50 cc, then you have to calculate the kilometer. Okay, 10 kilometer. My vehicle is 50 cc. Then I have to plan accordingly. That means it will take 1 hour to reach my target. So you will plan accordingly. So you have to start 1 hour earlier. Or if you are having 150 cc, then you have to start 30 minutes later also. Correct. But the consistency, that both the vehicles should give you consistency. In between, if it is the vehicle breakdown, you cannot achieve the target. If you keep on changing your vehicle, you cannot achieve the target. So the build a team, or build a company, the company is made of human people, right? Humans. So in order to build a team, or in order to build a good team, which is a consistent team, we need HRIS. We should know them, right? Without know the team, how you can manage, how you can monitor, how you can mentor them, right? So in order to know the person, or know a team, or know a company, I mean the group of people, we should know their information, their data. For that one, HRIS is very, very useful. If once you know your people, or your own company, then only that consistent team can achieve the target. If the consistent not happens, then we will miss the target. Understand?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other question? Yeah.
Yes, I have a question. Sir, in your point of view, what trend will be shaping the HR department for the next 5 years?
Next 5 years. Okay. So, Karan, this is a good question, Kavin, actually.
Thank you, sir.
So, because nowadays, due to this pandemic, okay, whenever, if you see, whenever the world is pushing, or the world is pushing back, we human beings have that mindset of, if I'm pushing you back, at certain corner you are trying to push me back also. Correct. Even if you are chasing a cat with a stick, if that cat get cornered in particular way, then it will turn around and it will start fighting you. Correct.
Yes,
so
sir.
the same way, whenever the world is crumbled by certain things, like either earlier we had 2 world wars. Correct. Now we have this pandemic. So if you look at the history, or even if now we are in a very, I would say it's I'm not saying this is a good environment, current situation, but this is an historic period. Now we can say after 5 years, or after 50 years, 60 years, we can say to our grandkids, we were in the pandemic situation. When the world was crushed by COVID, we were in that situation. Because if you look at the history, when the World War I comes, the united some organization formed. And the World War II comes, at the end of the World War II, we have the United Nations. Correct. So we have
Yes,
then the globalization started. Okay, as part of industrialization, the World War comes. After the World War finished, then we have this globalization started. The globalization started at the point of, then the first one is the colonization, the colonies, because the Western countries coming into the other country and they started occupying the country. That colonization stopped, and the respect for the human beings, I mean the slavery was moved away, and people respecting each other. They understand the value of a human life, right? After the World War, that's what this United Nations comes. Everything comes after the World War, but that comes after the World War only. We lost millions of people, lot of cruelty happened. After that, this many evolutions popped up. Correct. Same way, currently we are in such a kind of situation. It's almost like a civil World War only. All the countries are suffered by this pandemic, and this is I'm expecting after this pandemic, you can see a hell lot of human respect will come. Everyone should respect the life, because we know the value of the life. Okay. Nowadays, until now, I have a sense like, okay, we people are just chasing money. Okay, all the companies, the corporates, because the corporates and companies, even the countries they are all made of human beings, right? So I am an individual. If I'm become a 10 people, I'm a company. Correct. So we normally the companies and the countries or corporates, they are running behind the money until this point. Now they started, okay, I'm expecting a lot of changes. I mean the targets, not only the money. We have to value the human feelings, human life. Okay. And I'm expecting, particularly from HR point of view, I'm expecting one thing very, very important is I'm believing that these companies or corporates or HR or HR. Nowadays, what is the HR policy? They are hiring departments are like recruitment, placement. I mean training, payroll processing, and all right. On top of that, one more department may evolve in the HR. That is your. They will give some kind of motivations. Motivation in the sense they will give you some psychological trainings and all. I'm expecting because people are under stress. Okay, because we stuck up in here in Singapore, and I cannot see my daughter, I cannot see my parents, I cannot visit my parents.
Mentoring and coaching, we call it, right? That's emerging. Mentoring and coaching. Yes, very much boom is coming up, and counseling center for companies is coming up.
Particularly counseling centers will come up, and because the people are under a lot of stress nowadays. So if they and the corporate side also, they are running out of people. Okay, if they want to retain a particular good resource, and they're just like out of their one bad result, they cannot find the person. So they should understand what is wrong in it, and we have to give them a motivation and counseling, some kind of counseling I'm expecting. Not only physical training, like they will teach you ERP, they will teach you data warehouse, or they will teach you some extra technology. I think that they are going to train you at a psychological level also. I'm expecting that one. And now I'm hearing like some companies already started in Singapore, like they are conducting psychological tests. They're evolving your psychological ranking. They are having the ranks. Okay, how much psychologically, how much this person is good, and if that person is any other stress, and how psychologically how much he is affected or passionate about his work, how much he is passionate about the company. So these are all they are evolving. They're kind of questions they are giving, and they are asking us to write an honest answer. That question we cannot predict. Okay, this question is related to this particular topic. Okay, it's kind of scenario they are giving, and they're expecting us to give the honest answers. If we give the honest answers, and psychologically some psychological experts are there, and they are calculating our marks, and based on that they categorize the people, and they're planning to give the training, psychological training. So this is one big change I'm expecting. And yeah, as I said, whenever there was a pushback, then there is some bad thing happened, which definitely I'm expecting good things. So this is one of the very good thing I'm looking at the HR. So in future, as a part of HR role, HR responsibility is not only the payroll, recruitment, and company-oriented training and teaching. It's like we have to take care of your employee on psychological level also. That thing I'm expecting.
So one question we can go. If not, we'll close it. I think it's late, and Mr. Kesavan has to go for other commitments. You cannot hold him for a long time, you know.
No problem. We can talk. Not an issue.
One more question? Anyone wants to ask? Otherwise,
So I've lost.
Yes, Logesh.
If I want to work in Singapore, what are the skills they expect from me?
Okay, one thing is your communication. Okay, because if it is communication is very, very important, because we are going to interact with the different people, right? Different countries, different nationalities will come. So one common language, that is English. So our communication should be very, very good, because you have to communicate with them. You have to express your knowledge, you express your ideas to the client or your co-workers, right? Unless if you are not communicating with them well, not with them, then it is a problem. There's a communication gap happen, means that then the project will collapse. So your communication skill is very, very important. And from the HR point of view, I'm telling, as I said, normally if we go with a traditional HR skill set, like I'm good in recruitment, I'm having experience in IT recruitment experience, and I'm doing the payroll processing. So this is a traditional HR skill set. You have to think out of the box. Okay, as I said, just now I said like psychological. So if you do some psychological tests or psychological any courses are there, then that is very good. And other process also, like payroll or recruitment, you have to think out of the box. So how you do the recruitment? So normally the recruitment, what we will do is, okay, we have the employee portal like an Naukri or like LinkedIn. We have to think out of the box. So we have to, in your resume or in your experience, you have to achieve, don't focus on only one path. Okay, you have to think out of the box, like, okay, we can do the recruitment by this way. a new method you can build up. So a new method you can try. Okay, so whatever the role you are playing, you should not say I'm doing the traditional way methods only. I'm not. You cannot project your profile like that. You in your resume, you have to project like your resume. You are a person. You are not only following the traditional methods. You are ready to come up out of box and think and kind of you are trying the other methods also. Okay, and you have to come up with the latest technologies. I mean, you are not an IT guy, but still you should live with the current world. Okay, I should know the LinkedIn. What is LinkedIn? Because that is the where we can get a lot of resources. Okay, a lot of human beings. It's a professional network, social network. So you should know about the LinkedIn and how you can hire the LinkedIn and what are the services LinkedIn is giving you. So like that, you have to upscale your skill set. And first one is communication, and your skill set is very, very important. Whether it is HR or IT person, you should be up to the mark, current mark. On top of that, you have to think out of the box. Okay, and the fourth one is very, very important. You have to be very clear where you want to go. Okay, just blindly don't think I want to go to abroad. I want to go to this country. You have to study that country first. What is the character of the country? What is the culture of the country? And what is the demand required, skill set required for that country in current situation? So you have to study. You have to. It's not one day you can study the country. Okay, you have to keep explore that company or country through internet. Okay, just study. Okay, just study. Okay, what are the things? Then after 1 or 2 months, then you can understand. Okay, these are the skill set that particular country is looking for. That country, if you go and opening any job portal or any LinkedIn thing, you can see what are the skill set people are available in the country. What are the skills that currently they are hiring. So that you have to currently keep on explore. Then you can target. Okay, in HR. They are hiring the local people. If you study this Singapore, it's about Singapore recruitment, right? Then you will get an idea. Okay, in Singapore, currently the Singapore is always preferring the local resources, local people for the recruitment. But for payroll processing, in this particular technology, they are looking for experts. And for psychological, any evaluation or any training, they are looking for experts on this particular skill set, any particular domain. Okay, for bank, they are expecting this skill, this ERP software, HR, this ERP oriented people. So like you have to categorize. Okay, then you mentioned if you apply for the company, you have to update your resume that whatever they recommend, that's because whenever if you see a resume, right? If I'm going to see your resume, I will not go through the entire 4 or 5 pages. I will see only, I will decide you, or I will have an idea about you by first five lines. Okay, so in your resume, the first 5 lines will decide your whether you're going to get a call from that company or not. First call, interview call. So if you apply for that particular country or particular company, so you have to very clear about that one. Okay, what is the requirement? What is the culture? What is the demand? That you have to express in the first 5 lines of your resume. Then there are chances that you are going to receive the call from the companies. The chances are increasing. Just blindly say, if you are saying like, okay, all the blah 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 details in the first 5 pages and the last pages, if you are giving that information, there are chances like you will be rejected. Understand, right? We have to be very clear. And in the first 5 lines in your resume, you have to meet their requirement. You have to give the confidence that you are eligible for that job. Understand? It not only for Singapore, everywhere, either in India or any other company or any other company. This is what you have to do. You have to study. You have to study first. Just blindly don't apply the job. Don't apply for the job. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, so that's good, sir. Yeah. I think we'll conclude it here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's what the recent project we have given, the international project, Mr. Kesavan, I would like to share here. We have taken 10 countries from different locations where our people are working so much, like Canada, US, Singapore, and African, Nigeria kind of, and also UAE, all those countries. And there are teams, around 9 to 10 teams we split into our students, and they are exploring each country and their JD job description, how they recruit, how their culture, work nature, the industry, the background of the country. This is what their current project is going on now for you. Just a note, and that is very similar with the way you answer. I think that will justify them now why this project is important. That's an add-on actually. Really it matches, what is really what they really do. Now they will be more confident to go and to explore that. And what you call Rupa is doing with dealing with Singapore, kind of exploration, the policies, procedures, and everything. Their team. And another team is doing with Kesavan, a lot more there in the team. So I think that is a good addition for my effort, and thank you very much, Mr. Kesavan.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I think Mr. Kesavan has real passion towards this human resource. I could see that really, right? Besides his IT technology, he is a strong person into technology side. That's really a great honor to connect with Mr. Kesavan, and he's so much willing to support our team and our students. It's really a great honor for us, and hope we will have more contacts in the activities in the future during our India visit, and we could do so much to the community, the youth. That's what our aim all about. We all join together with good intentions. Always good things will happen. That's my thought always. So thank you so much, Mr. Kesavan, for engaging. And we have another discussion, maybe another 10-15 minutes. When you are free, we can start with that.
Sure, sir. Okay.
A short discussion. Thank you so much. You take care. And
thank you, sir.
Thank you, students.
Thank you, team.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.